This training is brought to you by the Defib Warehouse, Australia's experts at building the confidence of everyday Australians to save the life of someone close to them. The training takes a little over 10 minutes, so whether you're watching on your phone, tablet or computer, be sure to watch right till the end, as it might be the difference between someone you care about living or dying. The training is designed for people with little or even no medical or first aid experience. At the end, we've built a fun way for you to share with your colleagues, friends or family that you've done the training and that you're now Heart Restart confident. I'm Ben, and this issue is really personal for me because one sunny Thursday morning in November, I received a phone call that nobody wants to receive. It was Manly Hospital telling me that my dad had had a serious heart attack. I asked them whether he'd made it. They said, "They're still working on him, you should get here straight away." I knew in my heart then and there that Dad hadn't made it. My dad's death wasn't uncommon. Around 30,000 Australians every year suffer sudden cardiac arrest, and at present, around 90% of them die. But it doesn't have to be that way. In some respects, my dad was lucky. He had people on the scene immediately, who called an ambulance straight away, and he received early CPR. What my dad didn't have was a defib nearby. We've got an excellent ambulance service in this country, but do you know how long it takes them on average to arrive at an incident? It's between 8 and 10 minutes. Someone in sudden cardiac arrest who receives CPR and defibrillation within 3 minutes has a 70% chance of survival. By the time it gets to 8 minutes, that survival rate's dropped to 10%. The good news is that organisations like yours are realising how important defibs are to saving lives. And they're more common and available for everyday people to use in an emergency. This training is designed to take people who might have been unsure or lack the confidence to use a defib and turn them into confident, life-saving heroes. The training covers 3 topics. The first are the 3 beliefs that people have that simply aren't true and are stopping us from saving a life. The second teaches you how to recognise that someone might be in sudden cardiac arrest and what you need to do to help them. And finally, we show you how, with a defib by your side, the only thing stopping you from saving a life is the belief that you can do it. We've all believed something in life that's later turned out not to be true, and mostly these beliefs are harmless. But when it comes to assisting with sudden cardiac arrest, there are 3 things that people believe that are simply not true and are dangerous because they're costing people their lives. The first belief that simply isn't true is that you need to be a trained professional to use a defib. You don't. The defib that you have access to is designed specifically to be used by untrained or minimally trained members of the public. In fact, the Australian Resuscitation Council endorses and recommends use of defibs by untrained bystanders. The second belief that simply isn't true is that you might hurt someone using a defib. The defib that you have will analyse the patient's heart rhythm, and it will not administer a therapeutic shock unless it can help that patient. The third and final belief, which isn't true, is that you might be sued for trying to provide well-meaning first aid. Good Samaritan legislation or case law exists in every state in Australia, and there is no record of anyone successfully being sued for trying to administer first aid. So hopefully now you believe that you can use a defib, but you might still be confused as to when you should use one. The next section of our training looks at the 2 ways you can tell someone might need you to get that defib, and the 3 things you need to do to help save their life. There are a large number of situations that can lead to someone going into cardiac arrest. Some of the common ones are having a heart attack, drowning, being electrocuted, suffering some sort of trauma, or having an anaphylactic reaction. Regardless of what's caused them to go into cardiac arrest, the 2 telltale signs that someone has experienced a sudden cardiac arrest is that they're not conscious and they're not breathing. Some simple ways to check whether this might be the case is if you grab them, shake them and yell their name and they don't respond, you don't see their chest moving up and down with breath, or you don't feel a pulse. They're likely unconscious and not breathing. If someone is in cardiac arrest, that situation is deadly serious. Without your help, they will die. They need you to do 3 things straight away. The first one is call 000. The second thing they need you to do is go and get your defib. Then they need you to commence CPR. If there's more than one of you, get one person to commence CPR straight away and the other to go and get the defib while calling 000. Some of you might be concerned thinking, but hold on, I haven't been trained how to use the defib or how to provide CPR. The great news is that your defib will tell you exactly how to do both of those things. And for someone in cardiac arrest, they need that to happen immediately. So for them, any CPR is better than no CPR. You now know that you can use a defib and you know when you should use one, but do you really believe that you could use one in an emergency? The final section of our training is focused on building your confidence so that you are able to use a defib to save someone's life. We're all expected to learn so many new things these days, and studies show that we'll have forgotten 90% of what we learned within a week. So then, why bother teaching you how to use a defib when chances are you won't need to do it until years to come? Well, this is why we focus on changing those beliefs, because while you might forget what you've learned, you won't forget what you believe. And what we want you to do when you're watching this video is reinforce that belief that you can use a defib. Watch how simple it is and how it tells you exactly what to do, and remind yourself that even if you forget how to use the defib, you still can use it. We've all benefited in our life from the advice of a coach, mentor or leader, someone who, even when the pressure's on, could give us the advice we needed to get through. I want you to look at the defib as that sort of mentor, leader or coach that's going to help you get through the emergency situation you're facing.
Adult mode. Remove all clothing from patient's chest. Pull red handle to reveal pads. Look at pictures on pads. Apply pads to bare skin exactly as shown in the pictures. Press pads firmly. Apply pads to bare skin exactly as shown in the pictures. Press pads. Do not touch patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Preparing to shock. Everyone clear. Do not touch patient. Delivering shock. Shock delivered. Provide chest compressions to the beat. The heel of one hand should be in center of chest. The other hand should be on top of first hand.
Did you see how straightforward that was? Do you believe that you could do what that person was doing? If you do, I want you to try something that might seem a bit silly at first, but is a proven belief adaptation technique. First of all, I want you to think of someone who's really important to you, someone whose life means a lot, maybe a friend, a colleague or a family member. Now, when you walk past your defib, do you know where your defib is? Ideally, it's no more than 45 seconds walk away from where you'd usually be. Whenever you walk past that defib, I want you to stop, breathe a big sigh of relief and picture yourself taking that defib off the wall and saving the person that's really important to you. So remember, beliefs are powerful, but not always true. Here are 3 things that are true. 1. Anyone, trained or untrained, can use a defib. You can use a defib. 2. The defib won't hurt someone. And 3. You won't be sued for providing first aid. Signs of sudden cardiac arrest are someone being unconscious and not breathing. When you notice those signs, there are 3 things you need to do. You need to call 000, you need to get your defib, and you need to start CPR. And finally, even if you forget everything you've just seen about how to use your defib, you won't forget what you now believe, and that is that you can use a defib to save the life of someone you care about. Take the opportunity to reinforce that belief every time you walk past your defib.